What you see on the news is rarely the full story. It's a narrative engineered to control the way you think. This isn't a new problem. The blueprint was perfected over a century ago by one man, hired to do the impossible, sell a war to a country that desperately wanted peace. His name was Edward Bernays, and his tactics are still being used on you today. The birth of modern propaganda. Bernays, the nephew of Sigmund Freud, used his uncle's psychological theories not to heal people but to control them. To get America into World War I, he knew that facts wouldn't work. He had to capture their emotions. His team framed the war as a moral crusade, coining the phrase, making the world safe for democracy. He proved he could turn a peaceful nation into a war-hungry one through narrative, a technique that he called manufacturing consent, the state as the puppet master. In the decades since, governments have perfected this art. In countries like Russia, state-controlled media builds an alternate reality to justify their war, silencing any journalists who dare contradict the original story. In places like Hungary, the ruling party systematically takes over independent news outlets, creating an echo chamber where government messaging is all the citizens hear. In these places, the media doesn't report reality. It dictates it. The subtle art of deception. In countries with supposedly free press, the manipulation, well, it just gets smarter. Elites use psychological tactics to get your consent without you ever seeing the strings. When a scandal is about to break, they create a diversion. Epstein. Oh, I don't know what's wrong. Manufactured cultural outrage to redirect public anger. They invent scapegoats, blaming complex problems on a vulnerable group. Immigrants! Wow, must be allergies. And they use selective data, presenting cherry-picked statistics as objective truth to completely distort reality. Antifa! I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. The digital battlefield. The internet was meant to break this monopoly, but it's now a chaotic battlefield. State-backed groups use armies of bots to break up discussions and sow division. The biggest threat right now, though, is AI. We've seen AI-generated robocalls impersonating presidents to suppress the vote. Hyper-realistic deepfakes can now show public figures saying things that they've never said. The goal is no longer just persuasion, but to create information chaos, where you become cynical and don't know what to believe at all. Conclusion. From Bernays to AI, the goal is the same. Control the narrative. If they can win a war in your mind, well, shit, they've already won. But the manipulation isn't invisible. Once you learn to recognize the diversions, the scapegoats, the emotional appeals, you can finally learn to start thinking for yourself. Call it to action. So what's a story that made you question the original narrative? Sorry, I don't know what's wrong. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe to keep challenging what you've been told. The first step to taking back your mind is realizing that it was targeted. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Hang in there, there's more coming.